Hi, in today's video, we're going to explore the answer to the question, does motivation affect an athlete's mental health? Motivation is crucial for an athlete's success. You must be motivated. You need to be always striving for excellence. But there is a line that, when you cross it, can lead to mental health challenges. So we'll explore exactly what that is in this video. So stay tuned for that. The first part of this video, we're going to talk about how motivation is crucial for that striving to be excellence. And that's really something that we all should be seeking. Then we're going to talk about the difference between that and perfectionism and the profound negative impact that perfectionism can have on people's mental health. The third part, we're going to talk about the importance of having positive mental health and positive mental attitude to sustain your motivation. In the fourth part of this video, we're going to talk about balancing the motivation of striving for excellence with good mental health care and being able to take care of your overall well-being. The last part, of course, we're going to take a look at a real-life example of how this played out in the real world. All of us, not just athletes, really should be always seeking to become better, right? We should be seeking to grow and constantly try to improve in any area of our life. This is especially true with athletes, in part because of the very nature of what they're doing, this very nature of competing athletically in athletic competition, that striving for excellence, that striving to win requires being motivated. Always being motivated by that goal of, oh, I can become better, I can do something better. And that is what helps to lead us to greater and greater levels of success and even fulfillment, right? Because we get fulfilled by that pursuit, by that looking to be a better person overall, not just at what we do. So this applies to everyone, right? The importance of constantly stepping back, looking at where we're at and how we can improve on that. And that's where that internal motivation versus the external motivation really comes into play in striving us for excellence. That is significantly different than perfectionism. Perfectionism is really about avoiding. It's kind of this fear of shame or ostracism or not living up to expectations, and that's where the ostracism comes from. It's the fear of criticism. So you're escaping, and you're escaping these negative feelings and emotions by trying to be perfect, which is an impossible standard to meet. So that really sets up people for some serious anxiety, depression, and other mental health challenges because of this impossible drive to be perfect. Positivity, your positive mental health, that's crucial for really healthy motivation. Again, if we go back and talk about like growth mindset and this kind of idea about striving to get better, persisting in the face of setback, all that comes about from that core belief that you are capable of more. And that's a good thing. There's a positive spin on it. Like, you want to be better. You want to improve. You want to find more happiness and more joy and more fulfillment and all that. When that's tied into the things that you pursue, the passions that you have in your life, athletics or other, that is that kind of motivation that drives you, again, coming from internal, right? External motivation is helpful. Having incentives and all those kinds of things in place are helpful, but the real key is to discover how to get that internal motivation, which is coming from that positive mindset, that positive mental attitude about who you are, what you want to accomplish, and what you want to become, right? When it's internal because I want to become this, that is what really sustains motivation over the long term, and that is essentially from a positive mindset. So other than perfectionism, when you striving for excellence, if that becomes all consuming, like that's your only focus, and that only focus is you as a athlete or you as a professional person or whatever it is, but in the context of athletics, when it's like that consumes your being, that creates problems. And oftentimes you see those problems in relationships. It can be relationships with teammates even, potentially even your coaches, but almost certainly with the people outside of that little circle realm that are associated with athletics, because that drive for excellence in that one area has consumed you. And that striving to be better really needs to encompass all areas of your life. So you need to be able to, like, when you leave the stadium, the practice field, that whatever location is, right, where you're leaving that, you're putting that behind, and then your focus is on what's coming before you. I remember having a conversation with Mike Bordick, former shortstop with the Baltimore Orioles, who said that before he would leave to go to the stadium or traveling or what have you, right, he would make that shift. So from the time he got in his car or driving in, his focus, 100% focus, was on baseball. Coming home, focus was still on baseball, but by the time he got out and was back home, his focus was on his family. His focus was on those relationships. All right? He had to balance those things out in order to, one, become better at his sport, but also maintain his the relationships and all those things that were important. It was about that balance. Let's take a look at two real-life examples of how this played out. First of all, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was obviously a highly driven athlete, wanting to be the best. He won multiple championships, right? What some of the drawbacks were with Michael Jordan's obsession to be the best was even his teammates. Yes, he helped bring that team to championship levels, but with interviews with some of his former teammates and all, it was challenging to be a teammate with Michael because of his drive for excellence. Wasn't just about him. He was bringing it to everybody else as well. And the pressures that he would put on for that level of excellence could could fray some nerves, right? After he took a break from basketball and came back, that intensity never really changed any. And he himself talks about some of the battles he had with his mental health and its impact on the relationships. And when he left basketball, trying to find a way to fill that void that was left from not being able to compete anymore. And all of those, that incredible motivation to excel in basketball had some real challenges from mental health wise for Michael Jordan, and it did impact his relationships as well. Roger Federer is another example, but a little bit more on the positive side. Roger Federer was one of the great tennis players of all time. He won multiple Grand Slam titles. He was in the public eye for a number of years, always been one of the top ranked tennis players in the world. But he had found a way to manage all of that desire to maintain being the best, to keep trying to get better, to improve that game without fraying a lot of those relationships. Happily married, seems to have a very stable and happy family life. Players who would compete against him have nothing but respect for the man. He is thought of as a gentlemanly kind of person, somebody who has that respect and is honored by others. All of those kind of positive traits are associated with him because he was able to maintain that balance between managing all those emotions and those relationships while also striving to be the best maintaining his rank as one of the best in the world at tennis over an extended period of time. I invite you to subscribe to our channel, check out all our other videos. In particular, you might want to check out the video, How Does Pressure Affect Athletes' Mental Health? I'll see you at the next video.